Let's talk about seizure types. We'll begin with the focal, and we have simple partial seizure. What does that mean? A focal seizure, focal, I keep repeating that because that's what you want to take out of this, in which awareness and consciousness is not impaired. Not impaired. The operative word, impairment. Typically represent positive neurologic symptoms. What does that mean? Clonic activity, tingling, maybe hallucinations, but impairment of consciousness has not occurred. This is focal, simple. Versus, you could have a partial or complex partial or complex focal. A lot of words here, but these words need to be properly digested. Otherwise, you have an attending speaking to you, or you're reading a clinical vignette, and you're going to get lost, and you're not quite sure as to what to focus upon. I'm telling you what to focus on. Complex partial is complex focal. Now, this is a focal seizure in which consciousness is impaired. Versus what? Why did I pause there for a second? Because consciousness is not lost. So now, what you want to do is understand impairment does not equal loss. So here, you do have impairment of consciousness, but you do not have loss of consciousness. What are we talking about? Focal complex. So you can see now, if you've never done epilepsy or seizure, then it could get a little confusing right now. And hopefully, through your medical education, you've had a decent introduction, and now I'm telling you what to focus on. Let's talk about automatation. So now this becomes interesting. So automatisms include stereotyped motor activity without clear purpose, such as lip smacking, chewing, picking. Automatisms, or bicycling. Literally, your patient, while undergoing complex partial seizures, looks as though they're bicycling. Automatisms. What's our focus right now? Focal seizure. How much of the brain? One portion of the brain. We have simple, complex. What have we not talked about yet? Or what types have we not talked about? We're going to move on to generalized now, and the different types of generalized seizures. Here we have generalized tonic-clonic. Used to be called grand mal in French, right? Big and bad. So the tonic-clonic seizure, often abbreviated as such, begins with tonic extension of all four extremities, followed by clonic jerking. So, boom! Right? Ooh, it looks bad. Could I be any more dramatic? Tongue biting. Be careful. So now we're getting into issues that are really dangerous. Tongue biting, even to the point where there's bleeding, and to the point where this patient is bleeding and might be suffocating on his or her blood. It is actually quite scary to look at, but you maintain composure as a doctor and know as to what's going on because you want to practice ABC on your patient. Airway, breathing, circulation. Urinary incontinence are common. Post-ictal lethargy and confusion, also very common. So after the episode of ictal, we have confusion. That's often part of this syndrome. So this is generalized. How much of the brain, please? The entire brain. What's another name for this? Grand mal. Then we get into absence. The beginning of this section, I did an interesting act, didn't I? Where I was just staring off into space. So what was I demonstrating? Good. Absence seizure. This is a generalized seizure. What does that mean to you? The entire brain is coming together for you. But unresponsiveness, staring, lasting several seconds. I probably do that on a regular basis, but what I was trying to demonstrate in the beginning of our topic of seizures was an absence seizure, followed by immediate recovery. Typically, who's your patient? Child. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm not a child, but the staring aspect of it should give that away for you. May have hundreds per day. That's scary, isn't it?